All right, Coach Brown, how's things going so far your first year at Bay High?
Man, it's going really good. We had a really good spring, and I felt like we had a really good summer. The attendance and the commitment level was really good. The support is really starting to pile in, and so we're excited, man. The kids are excited. I'm excited. The coaches, I think the school, got a lot of new stuff going on around here with a new principal and a new interim AD, and so just a lot of excitement. You know how it is anytime something's new. You know what I mean? There's a little bit more buzz around it, but we're really excited.
Guys, obviously had a little bit of a down year last year. Injuries were a big part of that. Coming back, how excited and how motivated are these guys to come back and kind of show people what they're made of this year?
Yeah, the kids have been, Will and Pennywell and Levy and some of those guys, talking about the revenge tour. The kids come up with that kind of, that kind of stuff. But I think they're just, I think last year for them was a letdown, like you said, with all the injuries, and it just seemed like Will got hurt early, and then it just seemed to kind of snowball a little bit. You know what I mean? And we know as coaches and that happens sometimes. But those guys, they could have jumped ship when the coaching change was made and Coach Bland stepped down, and they stayed in it and stayed committed, and I think more committed to each other than necessarily to me or the new coaches. I think kids, this group of kids we got this year, they're such a tight knit group, and I think they just had the mindset of they all started, they all kind of started together and really wanted to finish this thing together, and I think that type of camaraderie and that type of unity is what's gonna help us really turn this thing around this fall.
Obviously, Will had a pretty significant injury early last year. Fortunately, it was early. How was he kind of coming back, and is he going to be physically kind of what we're used to seeing from Will?
Yeah, I tell you, if this summer was any indication of what he's going to be in the fall, then he's going to be just as dynamic, if not more dynamic, than he was before the injury. We took him over to South Alabama, and he was just dominant running his routes, and then we took him over to to UWF, and he played some DB, and was locking people down. You know what I mean? And I think every day he gets a little bit more confident. You know what I mean? He starts feeling a little bit more stable and really mentally more than physically. We keep telling him the knee. A lot of times when you get that ACL surgery, that you come back better than you were before you got hurt. And I think now he's starting to, after a summer of lifting and training, I think he's really starting to believe that he's healthy and really mentally more than physically. And we're pretty excited about what he brings to the table. I was telling people that he's gonna, we're gonna snap it to him, hand it to him, pitch it to him, throw it to him. Hopefully teams will keep kicking it to him. But if any way that you can touch a football in a football game, Will Smiley's gonna touch it.
Will's part of a senior class that a lot of people have been pointing to since they were sophomores. Basically, once they get to be seniors, they have a chance to be really special. Can you talk about that group and kind of what their expectations are for a successful season and what your expectations are for a successful season?
Yeah, we even back 4 years ago when those guys were freshmen and I was at Mosley, we all knew then that if that group stayed together and kept progressing, they had a chance to be special. I know Coach Bland's talked about it the last 2 or 3 years, just how special this group could be, and I've been able to see it firsthand, when I got here in the spring, and just how hard they work and really how much they love each other. I think that's kind of the biggest thing is that they're so close as a unit, and that makes them even better football players, and it makes coaching a little bit easier because you got guys that you can hold accountable because they're holding each other accountable, and everything that Coach Bland said about this group he's 100% accurate. I mean, this group has a chance to have a really good football team, a really good season, and kind of turn this thing around. We've been talking about restoring the red, and I think this group has a chance to kind of reset that standard of what Bay High football needs to be.